What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody's having a great day so far. So today we're going to talk about how to solo on your own on 3 congas. You can use this on 2 as well, or even 1. Y'all already know what day it is. It's Tutorial Thursdays. So to all the new subscribers, welcome to Percussion Life. My name is Eric Perez. Some of you already know that by now, but just had to welcome you to the channel, and I do hope that you enjoy these videos. And if you haven't subscribed already, just hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button, find out whenever I'm uploading. And yes, we normally upload videos 2 times a week, every Monday and every Thursday. Something new, something different, something fresh. And it's normal things that you request. And to all my day ones, man, I seriously love and appreciate all the love, all the support, all the comments from yesterday's video. Man, yeah, I kind of poured myself there, and it's kind of segueing to today's topic. So yes, I do appreciate all the love you guys shown yesterday, and continue to show through this channel, man. Trust me, wouldn't be here without you guys. So if you haven't seen yesterday's video, I'll link it up somewhere over here. Just kind of demonstrating a simple kind of, feeling solo, something I decided to do. And I wanted to talk about briefly today from a previous video actually that I showed how to solo on 3 congas. Somebody asked, hey, how do you do this when you're all by yourself, when there's no music? How does this apply? How does it work? And man, trust me, those are the hardest solos, man. And I think those are the ones that I think a lot of people try to stay away from, because man, if we're gonna talk about realness, it's when you're by yourself, when it's all you, and you want the audience to kind of like draw closer to what you're doing, what you're saying. And sometimes it's hard to interpret what you're feeling in the moment, and you're able to kind of mask it with music behind you or feed off the music that's behind you. But when you're by yourself, man, it's like, oh man, you're like,
me están viendo, me van a criticar. I know qué voy a hacer.
I basically said that they're gonna criticize me. What am I gonna do? It's what we start panicking, and we start getting anxious, and we don't know what to do, man. So I'm just gonna try to give you quick tips. Basically, I'm using the solo I did yesterday as a reference for today's video. So if you want to kind of get the idea, watch that video, because it's really gonna let you understand what I'm talking about today. So when you're by yourself, sometimes this happens actually in the middle of a song or before a song starts. The band will either boom, stop what you're doing, and all the focus is on you. Or before a song starts, I think even Mongo for Afro Blue, he started to do a solo before Afro Blue started. So all that stuff matters on what you're trying to say, who you're saying it to, and really kind of staying in your lane. That's pretty important. So the first thing I want to touch on, kind of like bouncing off what I talked about in that other video, you have to have some point of reference. It's the greatest ones, the greatest soloists that do it by themselves. I'm talking about Miguel Angadias, I'm talking about Carlos Patato Valdez, Cándido Camero, Mongo Santa Maria, Pauli Mejias, Giovanni Hidalgo. All these people, when they were soloing by themselves, they always have some point of reference or something to kind of feed themselves off. It's either some touches or feeding off of a clave by themselves or some melodic kind of foundation. And that is crucial, because one, it helps you kind of feed off yourself, kind of helps you understand where you're trying to go with the solo, and as well helps the audience understand, hey, I'm kind of getting a story here, I'm kind of getting something around this solo that this person's about to do. So in yesterday's video, the point of reference, if you were able to catch it, is this. It was that. So I tried to time the solo with that foundation. So I knew how much space I have until I wanted to reference that again. So obviously I'm not in front of a crowd, I wasn't playing in the middle of a show, so I wasn't conscious of the time that I was soloing. That's very important. You don't want to be soloing off for 15 minutes all by yourself, unless your name is Giovanni Hidalgo, because that guy can solo for like 20 minutes and it's okay. You're okay with it. You're gonna watch him, you're gonna love it, you're gonna analyze it, take notes, study, see whatever he's doing. That man continues to seriously blow my mind away on how he's able to just solo for so long and not repeat himself and still go off telling a story. It's friggin' beautiful. You gotta love it. But a lot of us aren't him, and we need to be able to be conscious to kind of stick to a story. Try to stick to knowing your time and knowing how much time that you have to give that solo. So if they tell you, hey, you're about to go on for 30 seconds before this song goes on, find a point of reference, try to reference it as much as you can, doing certain things to express yourself, but not giving too much time off. You want to be able to get the audience attention, and yeah, I mean, that's about it. Secondly, you need to understand this is a point of expression. It's not to show off. It's not meant to, show the new trick of the year. It's really meant to just express your feeling through the instrument. And oftentimes we mess up because we're trying to impress something or somebody, I don't know who, but you're trying to do something that you've never practiced in your life. And I see that often where people just try to do a rudiment or try to do a combination that you could tell they weren't ready to show it. And you could tell it wasn't really true expression because they're trying to go everywhere. They're like, and I'm like, man, take your time. My brother Paolo and conga chops, man. Take some classes, learn there, man. Take your time, learn it. You gotta love it. But seriously, sometimes we try to do too much in the middle of this time without knowing that this is your most vulnerable area. So in this case, I was just trying to And those things help me because I'm able to now feed off this melody, and I can go anywhere with this melody. I mean, look, just to give you an example. Again, these are just little things that you're able to do. I said so much right there, and you're still kind of able to understand, hey, he's still feeding off that melody. He's still feeding off that pattern. So it's very crucial to have a very strong foundation that you're able to go back to so you don't get lost. Because sometimes I found myself being lost. And I'm like, man, where am I? And you don't want to feel that way. I remember people were, hey, solo real quick. And I'm like, dude, oh my gosh, and what do I say? And oftentimes that's part of your developmental process because it isn't language. It is something that you're trying to say and trying to express. And you want to be able to express it the best way possible without really just losing yourself in the conversation. You got to think about it. You're conversating, you're saying a speech here to an audience. You want the audience to kind of leave with something that maybe they might not understand it right away, but it impacted them in a way that, man, that's such an art form, or that's just, So yeah, a foundation is crucial as well as how much time you have to do in a solo. Secondly, be dynamic, okay? It's very hard to be dynamic. And what do I mean by that? Mess around with the volume, mess around with the speed up, slow down, slow, really slow. Like slow, and then speed up. And sometimes because you're going so slow, that speed that you're kind of starting up will be faster than what you actually think it is. So if I'm doing this, again, right there, I was slow, I was fast, I was soft, I was loud. Be dynamic in your solos. You want to be able to, again, tell a story. It's a wave, it's a build-up. There's an introduction, there's a climax, there's an ending. You want to be able to do that. And sometimes your ending is just fading off. And that's okay. You know, sometimes your ending is some crazy move and doing all this. Great. You end that way, wow. You know, it's your expression, but you want to be able to tell a story. And the story is the most important part, man. Sometimes wowing the crowd is nice, but if it's a story, if you took them on an adventure, if you're able to let them feel what you're feeling at the moment, man, that's beautiful. That's lovely. But yeah, you know, it's an art form that not a lot of people, you know, do often, but I do get this question a lot. So yeah, take your time as well. Breathe, think things through, close your eyes, feel it. Try to live that moment, man. It's hard to live that moment. Try to get this going on, but you want to be able to be so expressing and so, you know, free from just to do anything. And sometimes I find myself just doing that. Yeah, I get kind of lost there. But yeah, like key tricks is try to have a timing in your mind, a certain tempo you want to go and reference yourself back to. Great players are able to keep a clave during the whole time in their mind, and that's just fantastic. It's beautiful. Someone that does it, that's unbelievable. It's crazy, but he does it with his foot, and he uses his foot pedal as Elie Lasso, but you could tell he doesn't need the foot pedal. He has it in his mind, and he just carries that thing beautifully whenever he's soloing. So yeah, as well, before doing it, study. Look at the greats. See what they're doing. See how you could feed off some ideas. Don't copy them, you know, be influenced them, but don't copy them. Don't do a solo that they did, you know, but try to kind of do your research and learn from them, because sometimes just hearing what they're saying kind of gets you an understanding of how you should approach a solo when it's just you. Again, it's your most vulnerable state in a musician, to just show what they're doing with nobody around and everybody's listening to you. It's not so much of demonstrating today. Again, use that video as a reference to talk about this video if you want to understand what I'm saying. I know maybe a lot of you guys were expecting some sort of tutorial demonstration type thing, but yeah, I just really wanted to just give that advice. A lot of people were asking me, you know, what to do, and it's really hard to kind of explain that, because it's your vulnerable state and everybody expresses themselves fairly differently. So this is just some advice that's helped me. I've done a couple of solos by myself. I'm one that love to use certain melodies to kind of feed myself and get myself. I'll link some of those videos here so you guys can see whenever I've soloed before. And yeah, it's kind of fun. It's nice to be able to express yourself, and you look back, you learn, and you're like, man, you know, there's so many things you could say by yourself. So again, it's just a beautiful art to express yourself. All right, y'all already know what to do. Like, subscribe. I will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend.